Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that your life no longer feels like your own. Every decision you make, every step you take, feels like it is being controlled by something invisible. You have dreams inside your heart, but something always stops you before you can chase them. You want to move forward, but an invisible force keeps pulling you backward. The strange thing is, these chains are not made of iron. They cannot be seen, but they are powerful enough to control an entire life. These chains are your past, your money, and other people's opinions. Millions of people spend their entire lives trapped by these three things without even realizing it. They allow old failures to decide their future. They allow money to control their choices. They allow other people's words to define their worth. But one ordinary young man discovered this truth before it was too late. His name was Ethan. Ethan grew up in a small, quiet town where dreams were often considered impossible. Most people around him believed that life was already decided by where you were born and how much money your family had. His father worked long hours in a factory. Every morning before sunrise, he left home for work. His hands were rough from years of hard labor, but he never complained. His mother cleaned houses for other families just to make sure there was enough food on the table and enough money to pay the bills. Ethan saw their struggles every single day. Every night, before going to sleep, he made a promise to himself. One day, I will change my family's life. One day, I will give my parents the comfort they deserve. He dreamed of becoming successful. He dreamed of buying his parents a beautiful home. He dreamed of proving that your beginning does not decide your ending. But life doesn't always follow the path we imagine. When Ethan was 16 years old, he got an opportunity that seemed like the beginning of his dream. His school announced a competition where students had to present their ideas in front of hundreds of people. Ethan had an idea that he truly believed could change the way people solved everyday problems. For weeks, he worked on his presentation. He practiced his speech again and again. He imagined standing on the stage while everyone clapped for him. In his mind, he was already winning. But when the big day arrived, everything changed. As Ethan walked onto the stage, hundreds of eyes looked at him. His hands started shaking. His heart began beating faster. Then, suddenly, his mind went completely blank. He forgot his speech. He stood there silently, unable to say a single word. A few seconds felt like hours. Then he heard laughter from the audience. A few students whispered to each other. Some smiled, some said he wasn't good enough. Ethan finally walked away from the stage with his head down. That afternoon, he went home feeling completely broken. He wasn't just disappointed because he lost the competition. He was hurt because for the first time, he started believing that maybe the others were right. Maybe he wasn't smart enough. Maybe he wasn't talented enough. Maybe his dreams were too big. Years passed after that day, but the memory stayed with him. Every time a new opportunity appeared, that old voice returned. Remember what happened last time? You failed before. You will fail again. Without realizing it, Ethan was no longer living in the present. He was living inside a mistake that happened years ago. The 16-year-old version of himself was still controlling the future of the adult Ethan. One evening, while cleaning his old belongings, Ethan found the notebook he had used during the competition. Slowly, he opened the pages. He looked at his old ideas. For a moment, he expected to see something embarrassing, but instead, he was surprised. The ideas were not perfect, but they were not terrible either. They actually had potential. Ethan smiled. Then he understood something important. The boy who failed on that stage no longer existed. He had changed, he had learned, he had grown stronger, but he was still allowing an old memory to control his present life. That night, Ethan closed the notebook and quietly said, "The past should teach me, not imprison me." For the first time in many years, he felt free. But soon, another challenge appeared, a different kind of chain: money. After finishing school, Ethan found a stable job. Every month, he received a salary that was enough to pay his bills and live a simple life. But deep inside, he wanted more. He wanted to build something of his own. He wanted to learn new skills. He wanted to create a business. But fear stopped him. What if I lose my job? What if my business fails? What if I lose everything? Those questions kept him trapped. Day after day, he stayed inside his comfort zone. He was not unhappy, but he was not truly fulfilled either. One rainy afternoon, while waiting for the weather to improve, Ethan walked into a small bookstore. Near the window, he noticed an elderly man sitting quietly and reading a book. The title caught his attention. Freedom Begins in the Mind. Curious, Ethan asked, "Do you believe money brings freedom?" The old man looked at him and smiled. Money can create opportunities, but money alone cannot create freedom. Ethan looked confused. The old man continued, "Money is a wonderful servant, but it becomes a terrible master." He explained, "Many people spend their entire lives chasing money, but eventually they become so afraid of losing it that they stop chasing their dreams. At that moment, they no longer control money, money controls them." Those words stayed with Ethan. That night, he made a decision. He would not leave his job immediately. Instead, he would prepare himself. Every evening after work, he studied for 1 hour. He learned about business. He learned communication. He learned marketing. He learned new skills that could help him create a better future. Some nights he was exhausted. Some nights he wanted to stop. But he continued because he understood that success is not created by one big action. It is created by small actions repeated consistently. After nearly 2 years of hard work, Ethan finally started a small online business. At the beginning, almost nobody noticed. Some days he made no sales. Some friends laughed at him. "Why are you wasting your time? Just focus on your normal job." But Ethan remembered the old man's words. Success belongs to those who keep improving. Instead of chasing fast money, he focused on becoming more valuable. Slowly, things started changing. One customer came, then another. Then more people discovered his work. Months later, his small business began earning more than his regular job. Ethan smiled, not because he became rich, but because he had broken the second chain, the chain of money controlling his life. Only one chain remained: other people's opinions. As Ethan's success grew, so did criticism. Some people said he was just lucky. Others said he had changed. Some even secretly hoped he would fail. At first, those words hurt him. He wanted everyone to respect him. He wanted everyone to approve of his choices. But one evening, he remembered something his father once told him while repairing an old bicycle. "If you stop every time someone throws a stone at you, you will never reach your destination." Those simple words changed his mindset. Ethan finally understood that people will always have opinions. Some people will support you. Some people will doubt you. Some people will criticize you no matter what you do. Trying to make everyone happy is impossible. From that day forward, Ethan listened to advice, but he never allowed opinions to control his decisions. Years later, Ethan finally achieved the dream he carried since childhood. He bought a comfortable home for his parents. His father smiled proudly. His mother cried tears of happiness. The same people who once laughed at him now called him lucky. Ethan simply smiled because he knew the truth. Luck did not heal his past wounds. Luck did not make him study after long days of work. Luck did not help him ignore criticism and keep moving forward. His choices did that. His discipline did that. His consistency did that. Looking back, Ethan realized that success was never created by one magical moment. It was created by hundreds of small decisions made every single day. And that was the greatest lesson of his life. Never let your past decide your future. Never let money become your master. Never let other people's opinions become your identity. Your past is a lesson, not a prison. Money is a tool, not your purpose. Opinions are just noise, not your destiny. The moment you stop allowing these 3 things to control your life is the moment you finally become the author of your own story. And years from now, when people look at your success and call you lucky, you will simply smile, because you will remember every small decision, every difficult day, and every moment when you chose to continue. That is the real story behind success. Not luck, not magic, just a person who refused to give control of their life to anything else except their own choices.